Our nation stands at a crossroads. In a single stroke, tens of thousands of highly trained national security professionals, individuals who have dedicated their lives to intelligence, defense, cybersecurity, law enforcement, and crisis response, have been cast aside, their expertise dismissed as if it were no longer needed. Yet the threats that once required their vigilance have not disappeared. Instead, as institutions are dismantled and adversaries adapt, we face a growing security vacuum, gaps in intelligence, defense, and operational readiness that no conventional structure can fill in time. If traditional safeguards are failing, we must build something new. Enter the National Security Live Action Role Play, NSLARP, a decentralized, immersive simulation designed to reclaim lost expertise and mobilize both displaced professionals and civic-minded citizens. In this time of uncertainty, we cannot afford bureaucratic paralysis or single points of failure. The NSLARP model is built on agility, autonomy, and resilience. Small, highly adaptable teams operate in triadic structures, ensuring that intelligence flows seamlessly, resources are allocated effectively, and action is taken decisively. Participants assume roles that match their skills, experience, and problem-solving abilities, whether drawn from military, intelligence, law enforcement, cybersecurity, diplomacy, or civilian fields such as business, journalism, and crisis response. This approach replaces outdated top-down hierarchies with distributed, self-sufficient cells, an organizational model designed for the new security reality. But this is more than just a simulation. It is an active response to a national security crisis. Participants will hone real-world skills, experience the urgency and complexity of high-stakes decision-making, and forge powerful networks of collaboration. Together, these teams form a modern militia of the mind, an informed, prepared, and empowered citizenry capable of confronting the threats and uncertainties of this rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape. The time for waiting is over. The time to act is now. Through your participation in the National Security Live Action Role Play, you will not only gain profound insights into the complexities of intelligence gathering, cyber operations, diplomatic negotiations, counterintelligence, and tactical crisis response, but also become part of the solution. Your country needs you now more than ever. The NSLARP is more than just a game. It is a real-time immersive training ground for decentralized security operations. By simulating intelligence gathering, cyber defense, counterintelligence, diplomatic maneuvering, and tactical response, participants will engage in practical exercises designed to mirror real-world threats. This initiative harnesses the skills of former intelligence professionals, cybersecurity experts, emergency responders, strategic thinkers, and everyday citizens with a desire to take an active role in safeguarding their communities. Traditional security training is restricted, classified, and inaccessible to most of the public. However, the knowledge and skills necessary to protect critical infrastructure, detect emerging threats, and maintain operational resilience must no longer be the sole domain of government agencies. By structuring this initiative as a LARP, we provide a realistic, participatory, and scalable model where people can learn and practice essential security operations in a hands-on environment. This approach allows for distributed learning, decentralized coordination, and real-time application of tactics in a way that builds competence, cooperation, and capability outside of traditional institutional frameworks. The mission is simple: develop and maintain an agile, independent security ecosystem that can step in where official structures have weakened. Whether defending digital infrastructure, countering misinformation, exposing infiltration, negotiating alliances, or coordinating emergency response, this LARP will train and mobilize individuals to take security into their own hands. In times of uncertainty and crisis, centralized command structures can be slow, bureaucratic, and vulnerable to disruption. Our model rejects these inefficiencies in favor of a cell-based, decentralized operational framework. Coordination, efficiency, and adaptability are critical. Our organizational model is designed to foster these qualities by structuring teams into triadic units, each with a clear focus and complementary functions. This triadic model emphasizes collaboration, responsibility, and synergy, ensuring that each member of the team brings their unique expertise to bear while working towards a unified objective. By breaking down roles into distinct, interdependent functions, we ensure that every action, decision, and response is aligned, effective, and timely. When organizing your NSLARP team or cell, your goal is to identify where your strengths lie and how they complement the strengths of others. Each team within this model is focused on one of the essential functions of crisis management, intelligence, security, or diplomacy, where three core roles interact to address the complex challenges they face. The roles within these teams are not static, but designed to adapt to evolving situations, ensuring flexibility and strategic advantage in the face of uncertainty. Whether you're navigating high-stakes negotiations, neutralizing adversarial threats, or responding to a rapidly escalating crisis, this model provides the framework to understand your role and how it impacts the broader mission. Today we'll introduce the 5 critical operation team models you can use to organize your own LARP cell. Determine your strengths, identify your role, and assemble your team. It is time to step forward, stand in the gaps, and ensure our nation emerges from crisis stronger than ever. In intelligence operations, the key to success lies in gathering, analyzing, and applying critical information quickly and accurately. The intelligence operations team functions around the triadic model of collector, analyst, and strategist. The collector actively gathers raw intelligence from various sources, whether digital, human, or signals-based. This raw data is handed to the analyst, who verifies its accuracy and synthesizes it into actionable intelligence. The strategist then uses this intelligence to make high-level decisions, whether by directing operations, initiating interventions, or advising on diplomatic efforts. The triadic approach ensures that intelligence is gathered efficiently, assessed thoroughly, and applied strategically. In the digital age, cybersecurity is paramount. The cybersecurity team operates under the triadic model of defender, counterattacker, and disruptor. The defender sets the foundation by securing systems, anticipating vulnerabilities, and safeguarding critical infrastructure. When an attack inevitably happens, the counterattacker engages, tracing breaches, neutralizing threats, and ensuring no lasting damage is done. The disruptor goes on the offensive, manipulating the adversary's systems or spreading misinformation to create confusion and disarray within enemy ranks. This team ensures not only that attacks are stopped, but that enemy strategies are subverted, maintaining both defensive and offensive capabilities. The counterintelligence team is designed to identify, misdirect, and neutralize adversary threats within your own ranks or operations. Operating through the triadic roles of watcher, manipulator, and enforcer, the team is highly dynamic. The watcher detects the presence of infiltrators or suspicious behaviors before they can escalate. Once a threat is identified, the manipulator takes control of the situation, using psychological tactics to either mislead or turn the infiltrator into an asset. If the threat becomes too dangerous or uncontrollable, the enforcer steps in, neutralizing the adversary and ensuring they cannot cause further harm. This team ensures internal security and works to undermine enemy intelligence operations before they can gain a foothold. Diplomacy is the art of balancing power, managing relationships, and controlling narratives. The diplomatic team operates through the complementary triadic roles of negotiator, mediator, and influencer. The negotiator is the primary point of contact, leveraging influence and strategic foresight to secure favorable agreements and alliances. The mediator works to manage tensions and resolve conflicts, ensuring stability without compromising objectives. The influencer shapes the narrative around the diplomatic efforts, controlling public perception and ensuring that agreements are seen as wins rather than compromises. This team not only resolves conflicts, but ensures that every diplomatic maneuver is strategically advantageous and publicly supported. In crisis situations, the ability to act swiftly and decisively can determine success or failure. The tactical response team functions through the triadic model of crisis manager, logistician, and operator. The crisis manager is the decision-making hub, rapidly assessing the situation and issuing clear directives for the response. The logistician ensures that the team has the necessary resources, personnel, equipment, and transport needed to execute the mission. Finally, The operator is the one who takes action on the ground, securing locations, neutralizing threats, and ensuring that all objectives are met. This triadic approach guarantees that each element of response, planning, resourcing, and execution is perfectly aligned to mitigate the crisis effectively. The world is shifting beneath our feet. Institutions designed to protect us falter, their inefficiencies exposed, their vulnerabilities laid bare. Threats do not wait for bureaucratic approvals or sluggish response times. They are already here, exploiting every weakness, seeding chaos, and dismantling stability piece by piece. We can no longer afford to be passive observers, hoping that someone else will step up. The responsibility now falls to those with the foresight, the skills, and the will to act. This is not a drill. It is not a game. It is a proving ground. The National Security LARP is an opportunity to forge yourself into something more, an operative, an asset, a defender of the future. You will enter a world of intelligence, cyber warfare, counter-espionage, diplomacy, and tactical operations, where your decisions have weight and your actions have consequences. You will train, you will test your limits, and you will emerge more prepared than those who dismiss these threats as someone else's concern. No government will save you. No institution will swoop in at the last moment. The traditional safeguards are crumbling, and those who wish to exploit the disorder are moving quickly. The only question that remains is whether you will rise to meet this moment or be left behind as the world reshapes itself without you. Your time to act is now. Choose your role, find your team, step forward. The future is watching.